Hey, what's going on, folks? It's Dave here. The video you're about to watch is an older recording I made a couple months ago with an associate of mine, King Ashley the First. She's a local rapper. She's very talented in my opinion, and I've been meaning to put this up on YouTube and share it with the broader community, but I was lazy. So check it out, enjoy it, and yeah. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.
That I am?
Living a life high of love. Me and you were the only ones who would have thought that it took one hit. Just that I thought wanna make me hit. Green and fluffy.
Okay, so for the benefit of the listeners who don't know you, because we have something to look for, just tell me who you are, where you're from, all that jazz.
Full government, Ashley Wilkerson, from Fayetteville, North Carolina, 26 Dreamville. You know J. Cole, and you obviously know where we're from. A little bit about myself.
Yeah.
Man, being put on the spot is a little hard. A little bit about myself. 26 years old. Into a lot of things. Have a lot of different momentums going for me right now in the Army. Working on music. And I also used to be a high school teacher, believe it or not. Used to teach biology, well, all sciences really. I started out teaching earth science, taught biology primarily, taught physical science, physics. Left that, came to the Army to try and make a better way for myself, so I didn't go down this terrible rabbit hole. And now I'm here and I'm enjoying life.
Okay, so you joined the Army. You used to be a high school teacher. You rap.
Yep.
Now, if it doesn't seem pretty obvious, I'm going to guess that you kind of lean towards someone who also likes women.
Yes. It's actually more obvious than anything. I get it's actually pretty funny day to day. I get mistaken as a guy more than I get mistaken as a girl.
I thought you knew.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, understandable. And the funnier part is I get mistaken for a gay guy.
That's really
Very weird. Very weird.
quite literally the exact opposite.
Exactly. Gay guy, and then strangely I still have guys in my DMs who know I'm a female. And still shoot their shot. Me personally, I think that's a little gay, but but that's neither here nor there, you know.
Okay. There's actually a Nimesh Patel. He's a Indian comedian, and he said that you know that being gay is definitely not a choice, because someone who's black and gay is like you want to live life on extra hard, and being a woman, that's like you just adding another extra level to having to move through life. Have you found that that's been difficult? It's like being a teacher. I mean, you taught in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay, and there's always stereotypically in the South. There's they talk about the anti-LGBT. Did you ever feel any of that in your time as a high school teacher, or since you've been in the Army?
Honestly, throughout my life, I haven't faced that much adversity from it. Strangely, when people ask me about it, they're like, "Why?" I think because I know who I am, and I'm not somebody that you can tell me what I'm not or what I should be. I just kind of move through life with that same tenacity. I'm the bottom of the bottom. like you said, black, female, and gay. It's like you can't get any worse than that. So going back to that Indian comedian, it's like, who wants to live life on the edge like that?
Yeah, on purpose.
Exactly. Like, let me just choose to do this because that's just the easier way to go about life. But because I've never let it define me, and when people do meet me for the first time, like even when I went to my job interview, on applications it says Ashley Nicole Wilkerson. And to be quite honest, you probably think I'm some white girl if you didn't see the box that was checked African American. And then you meet me, and I'm the total opposite. When I applied for my teaching job, again, black, female, gay, walked in with dreadlocks. So
I think I've seen a picture of you with blue dreadlocks too.
Yeah.
Is that while you were teaching?
That was while I was teaching. I dyed them blue while I was teaching, and I think I got away with it because I was so young.
That's awesome.
I started teaching at 21, and a lot of my students didn't take me seriously.
So did you graduate college early, or?
I graduated college at 21.
Wow.
And then got a job teaching shortly thereafter.
Immediately after.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you go into teaching?
Almost not, I wouldn't say family tradition, but my mom did it. I didn't necessarily know how to utilize my degree from NC State. I have a degree in neurobiology, which required me to go to further school. And after about 4 years, I was kind of done with it. So I figured, well, why not utilize it? And I chose the hardest of the hardest and taught high school. But I absolutely loved it. I think my kids loved it because I looked like them, talked like them, walked like them.
You're just smarter than them and was their teacher, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I used to walk in school with Jordans and jeans and, the freshest clothes. But what I learned most about my students was that they gravitated to that. It was somebody that could understand them and understand their language, honestly. So getting to teach them, I think, was easier than most when it came to, like, older teachers.
Okay. So when you were teaching, I just looked through some of your old Facebook, Instagram. Is that when you started rapping?
No, I've been rapping actually since I was like 6 years old. But I've always been involved in music. I used to dance up until probably I could walk until I was about 15. But music has always been a part of my life. But I used to do like small little rap battles in middle school, high school, but I didn't take it seriously until I got to college. Until somebody actually pulled me aside and said, you are good and you should do something with it. And that's what I decided to do. I just took it and ran with it. And so far, so good, honestly.
And that's something you've been doing independently on your own, just by yourself?
Yes. So I have 3 tapes. The first tape was produced and engineered by my guy Oates when I moved to Charlotte after I graduated college. And then my second and third tape was all me. Produced, engineered, wrote, published, promoted. Everything was all me after that.
How did you promote your music? What do you do? I know on your Instagram, you have your Wilky Wednesdays. I don't peep it too much because that's kind of weird. But yeah, like what do you do? Like, what other social media stuff do you use?
Honestly, I've kind of tried to refrain from paying for things. Reason being is because a lot of the things you pay for, especially when you're paying to promote yourself, I feel like it's not. I like to get an authentic feel for how people like my stuff. Yeah, a lot of the issues with buying views is that you're buying robots to view and not real people. And I mean, the day and age that we live in with technology is pretty hard to decipher who's real and who's not. So honestly, I used to spam people just all in their DMs, and then I really realized that that's not how you get listens because people get annoyed by that. So honestly, I just started planning it out there, and then the idea of Wilks Wednesdays came about in 2017, and from there just kind of rocket launched, and it was just a way for me to steadily get out music, like minute clips, and people gravitated to it. So it was, initially it started out as Music Mondays, and then my brother called me and was like, your last name's Wilkerson, make it Wilks Wednesday. And I was like, that makes sense because I can have my own day of the week and people actually look forward to it. So even when I skip a week, I've got a lot of people in my DMs like, what are you doing, where are you going? And life just gets busy sometimes.
So with your rapping, what if any mainstream artists organizations have you spoke to? I know in the past we talked. You went to New York to do something with Def Jam.
Yep.
Have you worked with anyone in Georgia, up in Atlanta? Done anyone local nearby just to collaborate? Since distance, Atlanta is 4 hours away round trip. So who you worked with?
Worked with in particularly would just be more like local artists. No like major labels. I'm not trying to shun on Atlanta right now, but Atlanta's not my sound. They are my beat selection, but as for musically what they produce, I'm trying not to let that define me. The Futures, the Lil Babies, the Young Thugs, that's not my sound. I actually want to come out with lyricism, and again, that's not to shun Atlanta, because don't get me wrong, I listen to a lot of their stuff too, Migos included, but my sound would be more like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Jay-Z, able to hop on those Atlanta trap beats, but also still produce a message. I've also worked with Sony. The same guy that invited me to New York used to work with Sony. So when I first started in music back in 2014, I had a distribution deal through them. Fell through because the A&R that I was working with, he ended up quitting Sony. So we kind of fell cold with each other for a while until Wilks Wednesdays came about, and he got back in contact with me again. And then a month after he got back in contact with me, I was in New York talking to Def Jam. So it was pretty surreal.
Awesome. So you do all of this stuff, and you're in the Army at the same time. How has it influenced your music, or at least your flexibility in any way, or
Both. Influence music because the Army has taught me discipline. If you want something, you go get it. Now the balancing portion of it can be pretty difficult because in Army world, Army comes first. But again, it taught me discipline, and then on top of that, you exploit the Army because it's a fan base.
Right.
But although Army is first, Army in my brain is always plan B. Is to kind of set an alley-oop for myself if the music doesn't work out, which I don't plan for it not to work out. But the Army funds plan A. That's all.
You're a government-funded rapper,
yes.
effectively.
Yes. I know that doesn't give me any street cred, but hey, at least instead of being afraid of the feds, I worked for the feds.
Yeah, I mean, just keeping a roof over your head and food on your table, that's, if you can't do that, you can't rap, period.
Exactly.
So.
It's better than selling drugs.